Hey guys, this is Chris here on HaloFollower, and today we have a lot of exciting information that we're gonna cover, mainly concerning Halo 5 Guardians Campaign Mission Part 2, Mission 2. So we're actually going to go in depth and talk about all the cool new things coming to Halo 5 Guardians. But first off, let's start with a little history and talk about some of the facts and cool things. And what's really cool about this video is that I will tell you guys right before these spoilers come up. But let's begin. Halo 4 sold $220 million worth of copies, becoming Microsoft Studios' best-selling title of all time in the United States. Critical reception was positive, at least for companies such as IGN and Metacritic overall. However, many fans, as some of you may be in that camp, ran off to other franchises as the multiplayer population dropped faster than Halo Reach's did at launch. Some say due to loadouts, maybe Spartan ops, and maybe just the lack of Halo 4 feeling not like Halo to some. But let's cut to the chase. In this massive article from GameInformer, they of course talk about Halo 5 Guardians, and we have some big figures. Bonnie Ross, head of 343 Industries, claimed Halo 5 is probably the most ambitious game we've done to date, and when it was originally pitched, it was even more ambitious. Continuing to say, you come in with a huge idea and you mold it down into something that I think really works. All the pieces are coming together really nicely. It's going to be a very different Halo, but it also feels the same. I wonder what she means by that. But for most of our viewership here, you guys, the followers of Halo, Halo followers, and the community, the Halo community, we all know the basic concept of Halo 5. Locke has a team hunting down the rogue, horrible Spartan, the Master Chief, along with the other Spartan 2s. In Hunt the Truth, debuting its finale on June 14th, around 2 p.m. PDT, we learned that Master Chief was not responsible for killing the innocents. He was responsible for killing the terrorists, whom were killing the innocent peace embassy meeting people. And those are the hard cold facts, that Master Chief is innocent, at least on Biko. So what's going on here? Well, it looks like someone was misled and that there's a lot of propaganda around Oni. Now, before we get into the story, let's talk about Halo 4 for a moment. Halo 4 was marketed for its sound, and Halo 5 is also taking a similar direction. The man behind Halo 4's sound design is also working on Halo 5 and its audio. To summarize quickly, they're a lot more aggressive, a lot more tenacious and responsible with making Halo 5 sound fresh, and it's confirmed that they're not reusing sounds. They're not rehashing or re-editing any Halo 4 sound files. At least that's what GameInformer says. I'm sure they're going to use a couple things just to make the process go a little bit faster, or they may actually have a couple placeholders for the time being when we see the Halo 5 big reveal on E3 in a few days. And they're also recapturing the fidelity and the cranks, explosions, fire, gunshots, effects, everything heard in the game. They are amping it up, and it is looking more ambitious than it was in Halo 4, and that is exciting. And what's even more exciting is actually getting to the big point of this video. Let's talk about Halo 5 Guardians Campaign Mission 2. Let's break it down from the very beginning, of course, of Mission 2. Spoilers ahead, you have been warned. Let's begin. 8 months after the events of Halo 4, cataclysmic events are tearing apart star systems across the galaxy. Human outer colonies are going dark. No one knows what's going on or why it's happening. 343 won't go into details, but it confirms that the massive Guardians, the Forerunner constructs shown in the first teaser trailer and on the cover of the issue, are tied to these events. Those events are going to change the Halo canon in a fundamental way, explains creative director Tim Longo at 343. We go big with our events and change Master Chief forever. The galaxy will never be the same again. I wonder what Longo means by that. How is the galaxy never gonna be the same again? Is it gonna be completely different after Halo 5? Is it gonna be in ruins? Or is there something good that's gonna come out of this? Well, as this event unfolds, Chief and Blue Team are still under the command of the UNSC, which is very interesting. Take note of that. Chief and Blue Team, which includes Frederick, Linda, and Kelly, all very unique. You can see their special abilities and their loadouts and their characteristics and their personalities right here on the GameInformer article, that they are still under the command of the UNSC, and I found that very interesting. Our gameplay session begins on the second mission of the game titled Blue Team. The squad is sent out to investigate and secure Argent Moon, an abandoned Oni research and development vessel loaded with intel that has been missing for 2 years. The cinematic begins as they find the station floating in an asteroid field, and they use their jetpack-like thrusters to disembark from their ship, soaring past the floating debris. The camera cuts to inside the station, and we see the Covenant is already there. Blue Team opens fire on a large window as they get closer. The Covenant draws their weapons on the approaching Spartans, but it's too late. They crash through the glass and land hard on the floor, using the thrusters to keep their footing as the enemies are all sucked out into space. Bye bye, Covenant. After the airlock closes, the gameplay really begins at that point. Blue Team searches for the quiet facility. Fred comments on the experimental stealth class vessel as they pass, and Kelly wonders what kind of research Oni was performing here. We don't ask, Chief replies. Team banter replaces interactions with Cortana and fleshes out the characters and surroundings, which is really nice because of course Master Chief has always had a companion, and now we have companions. So if you're missing out on Cortana, well, we actually have 3 awesome characters, and they're not new either. They've been around since the origins of Halo itself. They were in HaloFollower Reach, the very first novel of Halo. Well, as a player, you can sneak up to some grunts and take them out at this point with some melee strikes, and you head to the next door area, and you're surrounded. It's crowded with the standard assortment of grunts, jackals, and elites, your typical amount of the Covenant remnants. And here's a big thing. They have gone back to speaking English, so that's going to be fun. They're going to say, you know, demon, or they're going to say, no, don't kill me, he's here. Well, Tim Longo, to summarize, said Jumadama, aka the Hand of the Dynact, is losing his grip. Now keep in mind, Jumadama is the leader of the Covenant remnants, the Storm faction if you will, and he's losing his grip in Halo 5 Guardians. To put it simply, one of his major rules was to not speak the human language, English, but his followers don't care anymore. They're speaking English. He's losing grip, he's losing his followers. The remaining Covenant is becoming even more of a Covenant remnant. They are breaking apart even more, and it's becoming a lot less like a faction and more like just a random assortment, almost like brute society. Okay, so sorry, where were we? We were actually walking through a door area into a new area. And I'm sorry that I don't actually have the B-roll here. Obviously, we don't have gameplay of the campaign quite yet. It's fair to say that is what we will see at E3, and this video will pretty much be useless by that point. But it is very exciting as we continue down to the data center. Intel at the console indicates that the Oni staff was wiped out and most of the facilities have been picked over by scavengers. The path to the central console isn't far, but it requires going through the embassy bay full of Covenant troops. Well, after some exploration and smaller skirmishes, we come to a brightly colored wall. Hostiles below, Chief says. Charge through the wall and catch them off guard, he says. And of course, we back up and sprint towards the wall, hitting the melee button to smash through it. Very exciting. On the other side is nothing but open air, and we fall a couple hundred feet back into the battle an area below. The embassy bay is an enormous corridor with tons of vertical space. It's filled with boxes, ledges, and pipes to navigate and do battle in there. And it's very interesting because we're actually going to talk about that in a moment, but there's more opportunity to your strategy and fighting. Well, there's actually a Hydra rocket launcher there in the pipes, and of course that can fire tracking shots at the Covenant as they jump through the environment using their own version of thrusters to get around. So hey, Spartans, watch out, you're not the only one with some extra abilities in the upcoming Halo. So some jackals are actually sniping us from afar, so of course we'll need to use the new fire team order system to get them to stop. By aiming at a target and hitting up on the D-pad, Chief can actually order the fire team to attack that specific enemy or pick up a weapon or go do some objective, depending on wherever you look and depending on what's going on in this scripted campaign. Now, other commands include such as picking up weapons, using turrets, and even driving a warthog while you use a turret in the back. Hopefully this blue team isn't too dumb like the Marines when driving. That's really bad. Anyways, if a teammate goes down, you can actually command them to go resurrect one of their teammates. So basically, what you can do here is that it's much like Medal of Honor or Republic Commando, that you have a squad and you can order them to take cover somewhere, to go hide, or, you know, just use them as strategic points, or even you can use them as a meat shield to go out there and, you know, get slaughtered, although you will have to actually wait for them to be respawned into the game, because there's actually a limit on how long you can have the ability to be resurrected. So if your fire team member goes down, let's say Kelly, you need to resurrect her within oh so many seconds, and I assume that's they're still working on what the best time is, but that's not really important. Good stuff is here, but AI squad mates can bring you back as well. That's a big interesting point, because they're going to be basically carrying you over throughout the game. As in, where in Halo 3, if you were to die, the Arbiter wouldn't just walk up to you and pick you back up from your knees. You would have to restart from the last checkpoint if you guys remember playing Halo 3 or pretty much any of the other Halo games, all the other Halo games. This is something new, and it might actually work. It might actually work, and it also adds a lot of strategy, and it also adds that virtual couch that we've been talking about so much here on HaloFollower, or at least were. And it offers so much, and offers a second chance when you get overzealous too. Now, in a pipe suspended high in the air, there lies a DMR. Now, this long-range rifle is, as many of you know, perfect for picking off targets across the map in campaign and multiplayer, but we're talking about the campaign mission too here. But after a while, we get closer to the action. We jump off the ledge and trigger the ground pound. The Spartan ability has moved to the melee button on the right bumper from the awkward right stick crouch click of the beta. Now Chief hovers in the air and a target appears below. No enemies are in range for a slam, but we aim behind some cover, and so Chief soars to that spot, covering horizontal and vertical space faster than he has ever been able before. We come to a base of some stairs, and an elite rains down shots from above. We dash away, and we find some boxes providing another way up. Jumping and tapping the jump button once again, we initiate the new clamber ability. Of course, from the beta, we could actually see on how effective clamber was. Instead of trying to trick jump everything, you could actually just climb up on ledges, boxes, and of course, where Master Chief and his team is, blue team here, where they are, that's going to be super helpful to get around, which of course allows Chief to climb up ledges and get up there and flank the elites and take them out. Now, once everything is clear, we move on to the next area towards a central control. Now we run over to a metal walkway, and a large hunter crashes down from the ceiling. The bridge cracks beneath us, and we go plummeting into a dark void below. Now here's the part that gets everyone all riled up. I love it. A cutscene shows Master Chief awaking in a strange dark cave. Sahira 117 to blue team. Report. He tries to radio. Sahira 117. Does anyone copy? Now, could that be the name of his team? Well, he starts exploring the area in this cutscene. John, a familiar voice calls. He follows the sound and sees a silhouette up on the rock formation. It's unmistakably Cortana. She says, "The domain is open." She warns, "Meridian is next. You only have 3 days." John, the reclamation is about to begin. Everything fades to black. And so this ties into something very interesting. Now, the demo is only the first third of the second mission in Halo 5 Guardians. I'll say that one more time if you didn't catch me. The demo of what I just talked about of Master Chief going through blue team and hearing Cortana at the very end was actually just the first third of the second mission in Halo 5. So we're assuming Chief awakens from a dream next. Perhaps he just got knocked out. Maybe he has some kind of weird vision. But of course, this is what we heard a while back, that Cortana is going to have a role in Halo 5 Guardians. It doesn't necessarily mean Cortana is alive. Maybe she could be, maybe she is alive in the system somehow, maybe she could be resurrected. We don't know. But they say, I call that the ghost of Cortana, which is franchise development director Frank O'Connor. We all know him. Her fate is obviously very clear at the end of Halo 4. And so Frank O'Connor obviously can't just throw out spoilers here. If Cortana is ever to return, we really don't know if Frank O'Connor's just saying this, but he says her fate is obviously very clear, or at least from our perspective. Maybe her being an AI and her ending as an AI is very clear. However, there could be a new beginning, but we've made videos talking about Cortana never coming back and coming back. But let's get back to what Frank O'Connor was saying. He said her fate is obviously very clear at the end of Halo 4. The story is really about what effect did Cortana's sacrifice have on the Chief. So it's not about the dreamlike figure that you see, it's more about the memories and the long-lasting impact that she's had on him. She has left an amazing legacy in the fiction, and we couldn't make a game where we didn't at least acknowledge that. There is more to Chief's story that people are going to find in Halo 5 that deals with how he copes with loss and how he deals with his memories. So we actually got a few more details before we call it a day. We're not wrapping it up or anything. Each Spartan has a special loadout. This is very interesting, and their HUD will have a unique look to it. Now, when E3 actually begins, about in the middle, June 16th or so, in the next few days, we will begin to get Halo 5 Sprint, again, a weekly series that consists of the campaign and development of that, and that's going to be very good. And we actually got a glimpse of what looks like could be Linda's HUD. Or maybe Kelly's, or anybody's, really. Some say it's Vale's. Difficulty is actually proportionate with the amount of human players playing, which has always been sort of a little problem. It was sort of fixed in Halo 4, but it was a problem back in the day. It wasn't really linear. But the reviving ability is nice. So there we have that. The virtual couch is going to create, you know, that comfort playing with your friends. And of course, when we pick up our copy of Halo 5 Guardians on October 27th, baby, you better play with a couple friends. And, you know, unfortunately, the co-op situation, it's screwed, isn't it? I don't want to talk about that too much, because that's not what the purpose of this video is, but we can talk about that for a moment. The reason why we actually won't have split screen in Halo 5 Guardians is because they want to keep the 60 frames going. The next gen can't handle more than one player on the Xbox, and you will need Xbox Live Gold to play. But Halo 5 is also introducing more sandbox to the campaign levels. At least that is a positive thing, such as alternate paths, adding more quality replay value. Unlike Blue Team, Locke's team will actually be able to have a system. They have a system called ATS, which will help Locke and the human players actually find clues and collectibles throughout the campaign. And that's very interesting. But guys, be sure to check back here on HaloFollower for all your Halo news and entertainment. We definitely want to talk about Locke's campaign and do a walkthrough and cover everything that we can as fast as we can here on HaloFollower.com, as well as here on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. You can like us up, you can follow us here. Thank you so much. And of course, big shout out to GameInformer. Wouldn't be able to talk about all of this without them. And of course, images are due to them. Thank you guys so much, and see you in the next one.